especially the palm stick. And this is a traditional Okinawan style palm stick. It's just a piece of wood. The ends are tapered. It's very smooth. I make these. There's a link in the description if you want to see what I sell these for, but you can make your own. It's at 6 inches, so you have a little bit coming out of both sides of your hand. I have a big, thick hand. You can make it any size you want. When you put it in your hand, you have a fist load that allows you to strike with so much more force. So having a fist load, also having these points that you can jab with, you can reverse the strike, you can swing your whole arm in, striking into the face, into the head for self-defense, into the neck, into the joints and the pressure points. There's a lot of ways you can use the Yawara pocket stick. And I want to show you improvised versions of the pocket stick. So you can carry one of these. This is good in non-permissive environments. You throw this in a bag, throw it in a purse, throw it in your pocket. You can take it just about anywhere and everywhere you go. I travel with these. I put these in my carry-on luggage. I've never had anybody take them out and question me on them. If they did, I would explain that the reason that I carry them, which is a true purpose, is that I use it to break up muscle adhesions, pushing into pressure points because I have a lot of physical pain because I'm old and I've done a lot of stuff with my body. So it's a massage stick, but you also, for self-defense, can use it as that fist load and defend yourself. Same thing as like the Kubotan keychain, but you cannot take a Kubotan keychain, if you're familiar with that, which is just a stick. You can't take that with you onto the plane or through any type of checkpoint. They'll take that away because those are pretty common, they know that. So this is what we're basing everything on in this discussion. Maybe you work in an office, you work in a school like I do, you're in a non-permissive environment, so you can't carry one of these self-defense tools. You cannot carry a blade, a knife. They're gonna take it away from you. They won't allow you to come in. Maybe you're going to a concert. We were recently at a big concert in a venue with lots of security. The security this time was really good, actually. And we went through metal detectors. They checked the bags, checked everything we carried. I did not have this on me, but I know that you could carry this with you in a place like that as a massage tool. Now, this, we'll talk about this one first. This is a version. This looks a lot like that Kubotan. It's made out of a tungsten. It's got this thing here to hold, again, nice, tight, hard punch, fist load. You can hit a lot harder, break a jaw for self-defense. You can jab, you can swing it, you can hit the guy behind you. So this is very effective, but because of the way it looks and the material, likely to get taken away from you. But if you work in an office or a school and you're in an environment where you can discreetly throw this in a pocket, put it in your bag, and take it with you, you might not have any trouble taking this. But this is just a version of the wooden pocket stick. This is a metal pocket stick. They make these in different sizes, and it's really hard. It's almost unbreakable. I'd say it probably is unbreakable. There's nothing we can do with our body to break something like this. But again, this is not as likely to be able to, you're not gonna take this with you wherever you go because this is gonna be too obvious to be taken away. I do wanna talk about the next, or one of the most obvious things that you can carry, that you can have with you in your environment, that you could pick up, throw it into your hand. Sharpie, this is the regular size Sharpie marker. They make thinner ones and they also make thicker ones. So you can have a nice thicker one. I just didn't have one with me. You can see, same size as my pocket stick, same general shape on the end. So fist load, it's plastic, so, and it's not as heavy. It's not gonna do as much, but it is a fist load. It's gonna keep your knuckles from compressing as much, your fingers. So you are gonna be able to hit harder. You can use that to strike, especially into the eyes, into the nose, into the soft tissue of the face, into the throat. That could be a fatal strike, into the side of the neck, hitting that process of nerves, which flush the blood out of the brain. You can knock him out that way. Maybe he's holding on to somebody or holding on to you and you need to jab into his arm, that hurt, into the nerves and the muscles in there. So this is an effective, improvised self-defense tool you might have in your environment. You might have it in your office, you might have it in your bag, you can throw it in your pocket. Oh, I'm not wearing that shirt. I have these shirts that I can carry pins in my pocket, fancy shirts. So you can have this with you all the time. Throw this in your bag, throw it in your pocket, and you've got that. Now the Expo dry erase marker, and they make versions that, like inexpensive versions you can get at the dollar store. But I found that when I strike things with those and I punch the bags and I'm doing self-defense training with people, self-defense classes and seminars, and we start talking about non-permissive environments and things in your environment you can use. We talk about markers. The name brands stand up better. So if you get the cheap dollar store version, just know that you're gonna have a marker all over your hand and the plastic might cut you because it's gonna fall apart. But if you get the Sharpie, these take a licking and keep on ticking. You keep striking with these, and these will eventually break because they're plastic, but they're much thicker plastic. It's much better plastic. So the Expo marker, dry erase board marker, same thing. It's about the size of your pocket stick. This does even better job as a fist load, so you can hit with so much force, break the jaw for self-defense, knock somebody out if you can. Yeah, Duskich School of Impact Art says pocket stick remains the favorite tool. I agree. Pocket sticks are so underrated. People don't understand them. They don't understand how to fight with them or defend themselves with them. But you have, it's basically two ways, really. It's fist load, hit harder, and then also concentrating all the force of your body. So it's a force multiplier. All the force of, think about this long lever, swinging, turning your shoulders and hips, bringing that into his jaw, into his head, into his neck, into the ribs, bringing it down into his face, on top of his head, into the throat, into the solar plexus spot as he's grabbing behind you, into his groin, into his thigh, using the point. So they're very effective for self-defense. Now, the next one, which is obvious, we should talk about a lot, is flashlight, especially the tactical self-defense flashlight. And I also put a link in the description to some of my favorite brands. That's a great fist load. You're gonna hit extremely hard. It's heavier now because the batteries and the material that it's made out of and the stuff on the inside, the metal. So when you hit, you're gonna hit with a lot more force because you've added weight into your hand. You also have these features usually on these devices, these self-defense flashlights or tactical flashlights, these little cutouts that will rip and tear flesh for self-defense and make your force a lot harder. So now you can do all your same strikes, reverse hand, over the top or hammer strike, back fist, swinging motion, straight punch, uppercut, jaw punch, hook punch, however you want to do that, are all done with your flashlight. And then the added benefit of having flashlight, especially if it's at night, is you can quickly blind the assailant, blind the person. Maybe there are multiple attackers. You got to fight more than one person. You don't want to do that. If you can avoid it, you never want to fight if you can avoid it. You want to get out of there, you blind them quickly, flash it in their eyes, run, get out of there. They keep coming after you, keep taking away their night vision. Their pupils will shrink. They won't be able to get that ambient light coming in. They won't be able to see you. You're just taking away their night vision with something like that. That's why police officers, when they come up to your car at night and they ask you for your license and registration, usually they've got a flashlight like this and they're shining it in your eyes, and they're doing that on purpose. They're taking away your night vision so that if you're a threat to them, you won't be able to see them effectively and hurt them. So, which I think is a fair use of a tool like this, but you can use it for self-defense. Perfect pocket stick, but also taking away someone's ability to see you at night and to do harm toward you. And let me know in the comment section what you think on each one of these, especially the flashlight. I know some of you say that you carry the flashlight for self-defense, and I think this is a great, perfect option. And this one, the material, it's extremely strong. Hello, Almighty, good to see you. Yeah, and Almighty says, flashlight's an underrated tool. And I mean, these are tried and true by law enforcement and security all over the world every single night for flashing in people's eyes to take away their night blindness or night vision and change the odds in your favor. So that's a really good tool. Some people will say, well, they'll just shoot the light. Maybe. Or shoot in the direction of the light and then you're in trouble. But that's a whole different situation. And I'm talking about like you get jumped, a bunch of people come after you and you're just minding your own business. You're trying to get home, you're trying to defend yourself. You can do that quickly. And then if they keep coming, then you've got a nice fist load. You've got all of your techniques using this. Now I want to move on because you might work. If you're like me, you have tools everywhere. And the reason I have tools is because when I see things that are broken or that need adjusted or mended, I cannot wait for somebody else to come and do it, especially if it's something I need to do now. William says right now carries a Streamlight Pro TAC 11 1AA. that is a great flashlight. So this next tool is an actual tool. It's self-defense pocket stick. But this is just my point of, you can find in your environment all kinds of things that you can use to defend yourself, all kinds of sticks to fight with, especially if you work in a shop or like in my office. Like I said, I have little sets of tools. This is just a Craftsman. Hey, Sensei, it's good to see you. And it's a wrench, right? I can put this one on. This one's actually the size that I need, that I use when I go around and I check our gates and I find a loose bolt. Instead of putting a work order in, throw this in my pocket, and then I take care of my own problem. Problem solved, gate secure, and I didn't have to wait for anybody to do it. And as I'm sitting here thinking about pocket sticks that you can use to defend yourself in non-permissive environments, things that are not going to be taken away from you because it's so useful and effective. This is just a simple little kit, but it's a heavy chunk of metal. Now you have an extremely heavy, hard fist load that you can strike with. You can do that, all of the reversing strikes, your back fists, you can do your swinging strikes. And yeah, Mr. Almighty says better than a Kubotan for sure. Kubotans, if you have one, I have several. I have some in aluminum, some in hard plastic. They're nice, but they're just not as heavy as this. And this is extremely heavy. You're not gonna swing this at somebody. It's not a slashing self-defense tool, but it is a perfect fist load. So this makes it a perfect Yawara or perfect pocket stick. And I wanted to show you the other one that sits next to this one in the top drawer. Actually, it's in the second drawer with my salt and pepper. Yes, and Sam says tactical flashlight's always the favorite, temporarily blinding the attacker in the middle of the night. Get home safe. So I have my electronics safety kit or toolkit, and it's the same thing. I have something that's broken, got cameras everywhere. I need to adjust a camera or fix a camera. I have a flashlight with all of my star attachments and hex attachments, and looks like one of them's missing. It's probably in the drawer. But I have my attachments, and I have another perfect size pocket stick. Force multiplier, concentrate all of the power of the force coming in, and then the fist load. And it's not as heavy as the last one, the Craftsman, the wrench, but socket wrench, it's heavy. It's heavy enough, and if you wanted to put one of the attachments on it, I'm sure it would work more effectively for self-defense. But it's just the idea of looking around your office. Back to the flashlight. This is bigger than the pocket stick. This is one of the ones that I give to my guys for when they're working here at night. It's not as long as the big D-cell that we used to carry, the mag lights, and it's very inexpensive Energizer brand, but same thing, it's going to take away the vision at night. This one will also flash at you, I think. Yeah, it's got all those fancy things. And you can use it, because you've got the big heavy batteries, you can use it as a baton to defend yourself. So you might want to go for a little bit longer one. And same thing with law enforcement. You'd carry your self-defense, your gun, and then, or pistol, or whatever you want to call it. The Marine in me keeps saying, you can't say gun, you're not allowed to say gun. If you ever saw that movie Full Metal Jacket, you understand though, this is my rifle, this is my gun reference. Anyway, so you would walk up to the car, take away his night vision, and then you could be prepared with your other hand with whatever you have. There's the flashing function. And then if you had to, and I remember having a conversation with a local guy, a retired police officer, who's not a pilot, from New York City, and he was explaining that he had to defend himself one night, got jumped, guy was going for his gun, he had his flashlight, and almost had his gun out, so he was about to be shot by his own gun, and he struck and broke the skull of his attacker and finished him that way. You know, rest his soul. Hopefully he was right with his maker. But that's how effective these can be. So you have to, this is defense. It's not being aggressive. It's not going out looking for a fight, trying to hurt somebody. But if you had to defend yourself, if you had to walk around at night, or you had to go places where you don't feel safe because of the increase in violent crime, whatever the reasons are, you can carry a flashlight. You have that blinding function, as Sensei Emmett said, and you also have the ability with a longer one like this. And I have two at the house. I've got one of the old mag lights that I had since I was a young Marine that I was issued. It was my original mag light. And then I have a newer version, which is 1,000 times brighter and a little bit heavier and nastier. And those are in the bedroom. Those are in the bedroom for, bump in the night. And of course, on my self-defense tool that I have for the house, I also have a light. So I have a light at the end of my handgun. And then I have a light that I can carry in the other hand and walk around. So that's just, traditional way to defend yourself, defend your house, but something that you can consider something to carry. Yeah, Almighty says flashlight plus a cane is a great combo. So I also have the canes in the house, obviously, for my mobility and also for self-defense. So this is my selection today. Put in the comment section what you have that I didn't go over. Just quickly, this is the one that I make. If you want one of these, the link is below in the comment section, and I'll make one and send it to you. This is my Yawara pocket stick, more original Okinawan style self-defense stick that everything else is based on. All the techniques that I teach people how to defend themselves with are based on how we would use in martial arts the Yawara pocket stick, but we use it now for practical self-defense. So you've got pocket stick, and then you have office versions and classroom versions of the pocket stick. And like I said before, as you know, Sharpie, I think, can get a more indestructible one than Sharpie. Oh, I also forgot, you can get pins, self-defense pins. I put some links in the description to the self-defense pins. You can get, Smith & Wesson makes one. You can get a self-defense pin that's made out of a nearly indestructible material and has a glass breaker at the tip. So if you're in a car and you fall into the water, you can break the window and get out. You have these. I showed you these other versions that I don't think you could probably get away with taking into like a stadium or whatever. We went over the flashlights and then the toolkits, carrying a socket wrench, especially a smaller socket wrench, you can carry in your bag, carry in your pocket, and throw a couple of attachments in there. And if someone says, "Hey, what's that for?" I work, and I borrowed it from work and taking it home. I got to fix something in the apartment, fix something in the house, or whatever. It's your right to defend yourself. And this very heavy socket wrench is a perfect pocket stick because it's a force multiplier. You're going to hit so much harder. Your hand's not going to buckle on the impact, and then you have extra striking surfaces. So let me know, what do you think? Pocket sticks, what other pocket sticks do you have in your office, in your environment, in your house, in your school, or wherever you live during the day? And put it in the comment section so we can learn from each other. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you very much.